Number 4. The Marquis's blank ways have gotten out of control. He spends every free moment pursuing his eternal goals of wine, women, and song, and very little time actually blanking his estate. So this guy sounds, fantastic. If we look at his ways, this guy is into wine, women, and song. So not necessarily the most highbrow pursuits. So if we're trying to describe those ways, they're kind of all about him. Like they're very pleasure-filled, really not, providing much good to society. So it's all about him. Then we get to our second blank, and it says, and he spends very little time actually blanking his estate. So he's probably not really spending much time tending to or managing his estate. So this is kind of the serious portion. So now that we have fantastic predictions, we're going to go to the answer choices. So the first one, A, says superintending. So you've probably heard of a superintendent in your school district. Now your superintendent manages everything that's going on from the high school all the way down to the elementary school. So even if you've never heard of it as a word, then you know that the connotation has to be with that of a manager. So we're going to give that a check. Then letter B says administering. So that would also make sense. If you're an administrator or part of an administration, then you're definitely doing something in terms of management. So that gets a check as well. Then C is consecrating. You might not have heard of that, so we'll give that a question mark. Letter D says profiteering. So you might not have heard from that, but profit is definitely something that you've heard of, and it's probably not going along with the serious aspects of running an estate. So that is going to be out. And then the last choice is fostering. So to foster someone means to care for them. If you've heard of a foster home, it's where people take care of children who don't have homes themselves. So if we're trying to contrast this image, that's probably not going to be what we're looking for here. So now we're left with 3. So if we go back up to A, hedonistic, we've talked about already, but you may not remember it, so we can leave it in as a mystery. Frugal. Now, if someone is frugal, it means that they're saving money, that they're scrimping. They're definitely not going to be spending money on wine, women, and song. So that really doesn't work with what we're going with. And then C is florid. So you may not have heard of the word florid, but if you look at the root, flor, it's very Latin, and if you take any of the Romance languages, you'll know that it has something to do with flowery. And so looking at this, flowery doesn't necessarily go along with wine, women, and song. So that one is going to be out as well. So the only one we're left with is A, and even if you're not sure about that first blank, you're still going to go with it because the second blank has a check. And just to remind you, hedonism is purely for pleasure for yourself. So you're in total pursuit of pleasure. So wine, women, song, whatever it is that's your pleasure, that's what this guy is doing.